My name's Keith Nitka, and I'm proud to be the Battleship Operations Manager here on board Battleship Wisconsin. And I want to thank you for joining me today on this Whiskey Wednesday virtual adventure. Today's Whiskey Wednesday virtual adventure, happy Halloween! I want to talk a little bit more about the ghosts, the spirits here on board Battleship Wisconsin. For this installment, we're going to walk around for a few places, and I'm going to relay a few stories that I've had since I've been here on board the ship doing different things. The first thing, of course, is here. We're on the after mess deck, so we're on the second deck. There's the forward mess decks and the after cruise mess. We're on the after cruise mess decks here. And here at this ice machine, this ice dispensing machine, we were setting up for Winterfest. In doing Winterfest this particular year, what we were doing in here was just making it a little bit more festive for the holiday time. And what we wanted to put on this ice dispensing machine was a snowflake, a large snowflake, about this big or so. It was just going to hang right there on top of the front of the ice machine. Using some sticky tape, put it there. It stayed. Walked away from it, and after I had turned away from it, it fell down. I heard it fall, so I came back, I picked it up, put it back in place. It seemed to stay, so I turned around and started walking away, and again, it fell down. So I came back, using more of the double-sided tape. I put it up there, and I thought I had it really secure at this point in time. Turned around and started walking away, and it fell off one more time. I came back to it, more sticky tape, double-sided sticky tape, put it back up there. I thought nothing is going to take this thing down. Walked away from it, and it actually came flying across the room and hit me in the back. I don't know, but we ended up not putting it there. We moved it over here to the coffee maker, and there it sat, no problems. But when I say it flew across the room and hit me in the back, I was about 10 feet away when this thing hit me. It did not just fall down, it got thrown at me, because I was over there about 10 feet away on the other side of these tables. No way that it could have just fallen and bounced and hit me in the back. But this is one of those places where I had that issue. Come on with me, I'm going to show you another spot. So another thing that happened on a ladder, walking up from the second deck up to the main deck, carrying a large Tupperware container. It's the night before Winterfest. It's the very first Winterfest, so the spirits here in the ship, they're not really sure about what exactly is happening. Again, I'm carrying this large Tupperware container up from the second deck up to the main deck here. I'm on a ladder, and I'm having trouble navigating the ladder without being able to hold on to the handrails. The box is a little on the heavier side for me, so I get closer to the top there, and I'm thinking I can just heave it and get it up onto the deck, and then I can go the rest of the way. So as I go to heave it, I find myself, I'm leaning backwards. Now it's late in the evening, it's the night before Winterfest. I am, as far as I know, the only one here on board the ship, and I'm moving this box. So I start to heave it, I'm leaning back on the ladder, and as you can see, some of these ladders in particular are very, very steep. So I've lost my center of gravity, I've lost my balance, and I start feeling myself fall backwards on this ladder, and my life flashes before my eyes, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I am going to die right here. I'm going to land down on the ladder, break my back, break my neck, crack my skull open, something like that. And just as I'm moving backwards, just as I'm falling backwards, I feel this hand push against my back, right in the center of my shoulder blades. I feel this hand pushing me forward, holding me up, pushing me back towards the ladder. As the hand is pushing me up into the ladder, I'm able to then get the Tupperware container up onto the deck. And when I get it up onto the deck, I grab onto the handrail and I say, thank you so much. And I turn, and there's no one there. There's no way for anyone to have any time to make it from there to get away from me on the ladder where I'm not going to see them. So I just have to go again with the fact that it had to have been one of the spirits here on board the ship, one of my shipmates from a previous time period that was looking out for me and helping me out and keeping me safe on this ladder. here we are on the second deck in one of the MARDET or Marine Detachment berthings. And we had a similar instance happen in this space here while setting up for Winterfest together. Here, pretty much where I'm standing, was a full-size mannequin that was done up to look like one of the army men in the movie Toy Story. So he's the mannequin is stationed here. He's surrounded by the Marine stuff, and they thought the idea would be to put his arms out like that, and here in his hands they would have a box wrapped looking like a present. So they set him up, had his arms out like this, and his arms weren't going anywhere. They took a box. Now it's not full of anything. It's just a box, cardboard box wrapped in Christmas wrapping, so it looks like a present, and it's left here in his arms. That was put there in his arms, just like that, and they walked away. They moved on to the next section. In coming back, they found that the box was still on the was now on the deck. His arms were in the same position they were left in, but the box had fallen to the deck. So they thought maybe that the arms had given way and the box fell down. So they put it back up, walked on, and a little bit later on they came by. Again, the box is on the deck. The arms are still out here, but the box is again on the deck. This time what they decide to do is maybe it's just not strong enough. It's dropping and then coming back up. So what they did was they put it on an incline. So they lift it up like this. So it's on an incline, so it would be harder actually than to fall over like that, put the box back on his hands. And again, I have to stress that there was no real weight to this box. It was just an empty cardboard box. But they had it up like this, put the box on his hands, walked away, came back. Again, it's on the deck. His arms are still up in this position. So obviously there's something hinky going on. What they decided to do was put the box back in his hands, and they used wire to tie the box to his hands. You couldn't see the wire in the lighting that was here, but it stayed. It didn't go anywhere. I guess whatever was pushing the box off of his hands and onto the deck wasn't strong enough, or didn't understand how to get the box out from underneath the wire. That was another one of those instances where we had some strange things going on setting up for Winterfest. But if you want to follow me, we're going to go to another spot. So here we are. We're back up on the main deck now. We're just aft of the wardroom. This is uptake space number 1. And there wasn't any activity, so to speak, here. We didn't have anything like that. What I want to talk about is this. So the spirits, the sailors that we refer to them as, that are still here serving on board the battleship, they're not only into mischief, because, you know, the sailors into mischief, but they're not only into mischief, but they are also here and they help out quite a bit. I'm here outside of uptake space number 1 because when I need something, a lot of the staff here on board the ship, if we're having trouble finding something, or if we can't get a door open, what have you, we will ask. You just ask. You just say out loud, hey, do you guys know where this is? Do you know where that is? Can you help me open up this door? And you let it go. You just leave it be. And then most times, what you're asking for happens. I know this sounds crazy. I know it sounds far-fetched and everything like that, but I'm a sailor. I'm a superstitious person, and I believe this stuff is actually happening. So I'm here outside of uptake space number 1 because in 2020, the MacArthur Museum, in conjunction with the Virginia War Museum, I believe is what the organization was, they were going to do a reenactment on our captain's porch of the signing of the Instrument of Surrender for the Japanese to end World War II, as it did on board Battleship Missouri. One of the things that they asked me if it would be possible to do would be to blow the ship's whistle as a tribute to memorialize those Americans and then those in the Allied nations that gave their lives, paid the ultimate sacrifice for their country and to liberate Europe and also South Pacific. So I know for a fact that the ship's whistle's not up there. It was removed at some point in time and moved. Nobody knew where it went to, but we started on this hunt looking for it. We went to all the places you could possibly think, down in the machine shop, down in A-Gang. We went all over the place, any machine shop, any space that we thought possibly the ship's whistle would have been moved to. If you're not familiar with the ship's whistle, what it looks like itself, it's a big cylinder It is about 3 feet in length. It's about 2 feet in diameter. Weighs about as much as a battleship itself does, and it would have been up in the superstructure. Had some of the maintenance guys take a look. The deck was good. It was strong. It was viable. We could move it up there, but we just need to find it. Time came and went. We ended up not finding the whistle in time. In time is the key phrase here. We made do, put something together, make that happen. But that was still out there. It was still out there floating around. Hey, can you guys help me find the ship's whistle? I was walking through this athwartships passageway here on the main deck, and I needed to get something out of uptake space number 1. Now, what we keep in here is stanchions and glass that we use when we open up a new space and we want to interpret inside, so we use stanchions and glass. The other thing that's in here is our harnesses for going aloft, like I did in that video where we were up at the SPS 49. So we keep harnesses in here as well. I needed a harness. I went in here. I came in here, and something told me to turn to my right and look down on the deck. I looked down, and there was a box. I moved the box, and behind the box is the ship's whistle. It's not there anymore. We moved it. We're trying to get it back up to the whistle platform itself. But that is one of those instances where I went in there for one thing. Something said to me, hey, you need to take a look here. I turned and looked, moved a box, and there it is. Now, why it was removed and put in uptake space number 1 on the main deck through this little tiny hatch, remember what I said. It's about 3 feet wide, 2 inches in 2 feet in diameter, give or take. Weighs as much as a battleship. Somebody actually brought it down from there, put it in here, and stuck it in a corner. Why, I don't know, but that's where it was. As far as opening doors, we had a gentleman that worked in exhibits, Walt. He worked here for a very long time in exhibits, and watertight doors were the death of him, especially the older ones with the big heavy dogs on them, or the armored watertight doors. He would have a Dickens. He'd open up this one and that one would close, and then he'd open up this one and this one would close, and he'd just always arguing with the doors like that. So he, on numerous occasions, reported to me that he said, hey, you guys, would you open up this door for me, please? And walk away, and he'd come back a little bit later on, and the door would be literally open for him. So that's what I've got for Halloween's episode this year. I hope you enjoy it. Come on board the ship. We can talk about those things. It's not something that a lot of people ask about unless they've really got that interest in it, but I'm more than happy to tell you what I know and share and show you some of the places that I've talked about today. So happy Halloween, and of course it is Halloween, so I have to finish with happy birthday, baby, I love you, because today is my wife's birthday. So happy Halloween, and thank you for visiting.